the Trust members Cindy Mitchener, Glenn Beale and Neil Mackenzie Hall. Also, we have tabled with your packs the following letters of support, one from Equestrian Sport New Zealand, New Zealand Pony Club, Huanui Trust, and the Northwest Business Association and Naumanga Whakahe o Kaipara Investments Limited. These are the owners of the Woodhill Forest, including the Equestrian Park. Perhaps the least expected of the letters of support and yet one of the most encouraging, indicating a mutual intent to explore future working together. Our communications have progressed and continued beyond this initial meeting, and between us we've identified synergies and some opportunities of mutual benefit for iwi, the community and the sport. So the situation, there it is. Certainly we do have. Are we able to purchase? What I can tell you is that though the property is for sale, we have arrived at an agreement in principle. This is, and I can confirm that the agreed price falls within the range that you have within your business case. However, it is dependent on the Trust being able to achieve council support at this meeting, and should we not be able to get your support, it frees up the vendor to return live to their other live offer. So why are we here? We are not here to ask for money. We are here to ask for a guarantee in support of the ASB Bank lending funds to enable us purchase Woodhill Sands Equestrian Centre. This trust has been formed to purchase and operate the property should we be able to acquire it. Why are we deserving of the sport? I'll go through a few things. The first is equestrian sport is a sport for all. It's unequalled in terms of gender equity, key demographic being teenage girls who compete in extensive numbers. The sport is age inclusive. Competing classes can have riders ranging in age from teenagers through to 70 years of age, and the sport is family orientated. It generates significant economic activity. Does this by equine ownership, by participation in events, there's land ownership, fencing, construction of arenas, stables, purchase of feed, grain, farriers, vets. All this benefits communities in which riders and venues are located. West Auckland is the most horse-intensive area in New Zealand, and a little point of reference, Horse of the Year is, in Hawke's Bay is estimated to generate $12 million to the economy for the week of competition. We believe we have a strong business case. I'll talk more about this shortly. The trustees can be trusted. We have sport-specific expertise, strong business capabilities and experience. Am I on the right one? Thank you. Thank you. Why is it so important that we retain Woodhill Sands? It is the most used equestrian facility in New Zealand. There's over 160 days of use. It has an official 9,500 horse starts per annum. It's used for a range of events, from training clinics, from pony clubs to secondary school competitions, for dressage, cross-country and show jumping. It caters for grassroots competitors through to the sports elite, and it has had World Cup events there. Riders come from all over Auckland and further afar from Taupo and the Bay of Islands to compete. Reviews, I'd like you to note, the 2012 and 2014 both observe that the equestrian community requires this as a regional facility. The 2014 review observes that it meets Council's requirements for a regional facility, and it was in the report the most top priority to secure for long-term use. So if we talk about the surface, this is equestrian hockey's artificial turf. I know it well. Its unique geology means it can cope with extreme intensity of use whilst retaining the consistency of the surface to enable top performance to be able to continue. The other key thing is it is an existing facility, less risk. It's a going concern. It's been successfully and profitably operating for 10 years. There is sufficient infrastructure in place for us, and we believe it's the most cost-effective solution for the continuation of the sport. The alternatives. Well, actually, there is no other venue that would be adequate for an immediate fit for the sport, accommodating the number of days of use over the months of use that it's available for the purpose of its use. Any other option would require significant development and would be cost and time prohibitive. Quite simply, the Trust would not be able to fund a new development that did not have the immediate operating revenue that Woodhill Sands does. So, why should you have confidence in what we have before you in our business case? A key element of this is that the sport is self-funding. The sports model is unlike any other sporting model. By that I mean it's user pays. And so this means that at every competition, for every rider, for the horse, there is an entry fee, and it is per class. A horse may compete in more than one class, a yarding fee and an administration fee. A percentage of the entry fee goes to Equestrian Sports New Zealand, and the remainder is kept by the venue operator. I'll give you a recent example. Last Sunday, there was a training show day held at Woodhill Sands. Over 300 horses were present during the day. The venue fees that were paid from that activity to Woodhill Sands amounted to over $6,000. Now, in addition to that, the current operators would have had additional income from food and beverage. Therefore, I can sincerely say there is significant revenue generated at. It's a proven operating model. That same model will continue because Equestrian Sports New Zealand has guaranteed continued scheduling of shows and events as per the letter of support. The current operating manager will be retained. The expertise of the owners is assured for 2 years. So we're not asking the sport to change in any way. It will continue as it currently is. The sustained operating profit by the owners means that the Trust will be able to pay debt, cover our operating expenses, and retain a small surplus for capital improvements and a contingency fund. Funding the difference, we have developed a funding matrix, and we are very confident about funding the proposed difference. Am I up to the end in conclusion? So in conclusion, Council, we are not asking for money. The Woodhill Sands Trust is asking for a guarantee. Without this guarantee, this Trust will not be able to purchase Woodhill Sands, and Woodhill Sands Equestrian Centre risks being lost to the sport. Got the last one? Is it the last? So finally, I leave you with a Māori proverb. Nākau te roro, nau te roro, ka ora ai te iwi. With your basket and my basket, the people will live. Council, we need your basket. We need that basket, the loan a guarantee for a loan of $2.5 million. We bring our basket, the expertise, astute governance, a proven operating model, an existing and well-utilised venue. For together, it is for the people, who are your people from across all the wards of this city. They are our riders, they are local iwi, and they are the local businesses. Council, please give us your basket. Please give us your support. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Leslie. Time for a few questions, councillors. So, Councillor Penrose.
Yeah, thanks, Madam Chair, and thanks, team. I can recall having conversations about this with Councillor Webster and your team, I think back in 2012, 2013. It might be nearly 2012, I think it was. And at that stage, you were looking for money. So I just want to compliment you to where the achievement you've got to date. My quick question for you is, you actually pull people from all over the region to Woodhill Sands, correct?
Yes.
And what's the closest proximity, if this wasn't to go ahead, for you to take part in something like this that you do?
Probably Taupo.
Okay.
Taupo is the closest other all-weather surface that can accommodate a large number of competitors.
Excellent, thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Cashmore.
Thanks, Madam Chair. Thanks for the presentation, team. Your status as a registered charitable trust?
Yes, I can confirm that.
Okay. Other sporting codes, BMX, downhill, will they be able to use this facility, or it's going to be purely for equestrian?
Currently, there is the well-known mud run that is used. In terms of the mix of what would we do with the community for other events, well, such things as beach volleyball has been raised. So we're certainly open to the community using it for other events when it's not in full use for the equestrian use.
Thank you. My final question would be the difference between the 2.5 of the guaranteed loan bank facility and the vendor's expectations. You're confident of being able to raise that, or you already have that largely in pocket?
Yes, well, we have arrived at an agreed price, and we feel very confident about being able to achieve that, to fund that gap, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Cooper.
Thank you, Leslie. I've got a couple of questions. One is, does your organisation have any other liabilities?
No.
Okay, and is there any plans to have anything else other than this? Building, construction, anything like that?
The current state is we need to secure the venue. The second is that we need to continue operations. There would be some minor improvements. Those improvements would only be done over the course of time as the trust could afford it. At the moment, the trust, Woodhill Sands, as of January, was able to put forward a full World Cup show jumping event which involved between 500 and 600 horses.
Now, the other question through you, Madam Chair, is so the other vendor, have you any knowledge or what are your concerns that if this was to go to another purchaser, would it be lost to the equestrian world, or would somebody else take over the running of this, or do you think it's got an ability to have something else happen to it?
The prime reason that I became active in this was I knew how motivated the vendors were to exit, and they had moved from a position where they were wanting to sell it to the sport to any other venture. So it is currently being marketed by a real estate company, and so we have had little bits of information fed to us, but certainly they are holding things in their hand. It is not our understanding that the sport would be able to it would be open to the sport as